anybody tried a thesis statement? Raise your hand if you tried. Tried. Okay, excellent. Look at all those hands. This is awesome. Okay, let's go over a couple of things that the thesis statement should have, just to make sure we're on the same page. And then I'm going to ask you to be really brave and share that thesis statement with someone at your table. Okay, so number 1, what should your thesis statement have in it? Anything. Yeah, Megan.
What you're going to be writing about. Like
Good.
The title of whatever you chose.
Very nice. The title of whatever you chose. How many titles did you have to write about, Maddie? 3. Very nice. Right, good. I saw some fingers go in the air. 3 titles. So when it says in, and then it says some space for some titles, you got to put all 3 there. I know that's a lot of work. Okay, good. Then what else should be in this thesis statement? What else should be? Rachel. Good. The author's name. In this case, do yourself a favor, and because we have 3 authors, that's going to get really redundant to have to listen to all of those as we're readers. So what I would recommend doing is just writing the authors. You already have the titles written down, so I would just write the authors in that blank. I wouldn't worry about listing all of the authors again. Very nice. All right, what comes next in a good thesis statement? According to this template, this is just one template. Robert, go ahead. Right. So some sort of strategy as to how the author's using, or what the author's using to convey his purpose. So we heard some figurative language could be a potential. We heard some diction could be a potential, right? We heard, what did we hear yesterday? Was there anything that I didn't put on there that we talked about yesterday that you could pull from? And this was a long time ago. Yeah.
Wait, okay, I just have a question.
Hold on real quick then. Other than figurative language and diction, what are some other strategies these authors used that you took notes on yesterday that you could also use in your essay when you write it today? Caitlin? Okay, good. Pamela Berkman used some imagery. Yeah, Berkman. I like it, yeah. Berkman uses imagery. You can talk about that. Jake? Personal anecdote, right. We had some, like Diane Ackerman use some personal anecdotes. True Love at First Sight use some personal anecdotes. Very nice. Megan?
The teen brains under construction used facts.
Very nice. Teen brains under construction used facts. Good. Why is that our source that uses facts? Isaac, can you tell me? What's different from teen, or how is teen brain different than all these other sources?
Because it's like facts. It's not like an opinion kind of
Okay,
thing.
good. Go ahead. It's what?
Another stage beyond like just truth.
Okay, so it's more opinion-based. I like that. Yeah, go ahead.
It's nonfiction.
It's nonfiction, right? So even though he has his opinions, he backs them up by facts instead of telling us a story of something, right? Or using personal anecdotes to prove something, or rapping to prove something, right? Excellent. Very nice. Okay, so those are all types of things that we can see in that line. And then after that, some sort of strong verb. And then finally, what's the point to writing this entire essay? What has this whole unit been about? What are we trying to answer? Gerard?
What is love?
What is love? Yeah, so your essay's got to tell me the answer to the question, what is love? Okay, good. Love is this, or this, or this, or this. Okay, find someone at your table really quickly. Take like 2 minutes, someone you trust to give you some good feedback. Switch papers with that person really quick. Give them some feedback on what we just talked about, okay? Make sure they're ready to go.
I didn't do the authors. I didn't have a room. What did you guys use?
So for this one, I would say, point of view, figurative language, yeah, just put them in the order.
I'm using Romeo and Juliet, Sonnet 18, and saying how it like uses figurative language and how love is worded. Yeah. Why did I put over? Okay, so I didn't know what else I wanted to do, so I only put 2 here, and then I was like kind of figured like I wrote this later on.
Yeah.
So I put duty, and then I just used like that. But should I just write down the rest of that? Because I just
Yeah, let me see. So this is your current one, right?
Yeah, but I just didn't put that. I just put.
Yeah. That's okay. So I would do the authors here instead of listing them all to make that easier. And then they too can use figurative language, like that's fine. But it's probably going to be easier to find something else for duty for this last one. So I would say like figurative language and point of view maybe, like we talked about yesterday, that would be a good one. So then figurative language and point of view to portray how love is real and everywhere. Yeah, I really like that. I think you can prove that with those sources, so that's good. Yep, I would just add that one more tweet.
Okay, so I kind of did this right then. I just wrote 3 separate ones instead of putting them all together.
Right.
But would I have to use like one overall thing that fits in all of them?
You don't have to,
So
no.
it could be like, it could literally just be like 3 separate things just into one with like colors.
Correct, right. So in Romeo and Juliet, Teen Brains and Duty, uses figurative language, comma, what's this one, facts, and this one first person point of view. Yep, so you want to do commas. And then we're actually going to just write, like outline our essay, not actually write it. So you already have your topic sentence done. You just need to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you did good work. It's just not the thesis.
It's
so
just
you're-
not all together.
Right.
Okay.
Should I do all one, or should I do like multiple ways?
I would do multiple ways if you can, because I don't think.
Well, I like thought all of one was like easier.
Oh, I gotcha.
Because like it said like one.
Right. If you think you have enough examples of figurative language in each of them, that's fine. My only concern would be due to time constraints, you might not want to go back and try to find 2 examples of figurative language in like my Shakespeare. You can. I'm not saying they're not in there, but you might just not want to do it. So it's up to you. If you want to use figurative language and you think you can find 2 examples for each paragraph, totally fine.
It's destructive, but does that not really fit into Teen Brain? So like, what should I do like another paragraph to explain how it doesn't?
Good question. What would you do if you were Megan and you want to use Teen Brains, but your thesis is saying that true love is destructive? Can she use Teen Brains? Maddie?
You can, but I mean, I would pick another story.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it easier.
Mm-hmm. So an easy fix would probably be to pick another story that proves that true love can be destructive. What's another story she could use to pull from examples that show true love is destructive? Jared?
Is true love real?
Yeah, is true love real? Or is there love at first sight? That could be one that might have some more stuff. Anybody else? Yeah.
Well, that's like what I did. Like I had the same thing as you. I had to pick a different story.
Right, and so we found Duty that worked for her, and Duty might work for hers actually, right? Because if true love is destructive, she kind of goes back and says, "Oh man, I wish I would have done something different." So it's destructive for her almost. Yeah, so that might be a good one. Good. Anybody else? I feel like we got 2 good examples, and I like that they're different too. So they're different in that your paragraph about Duty.
Write the body paragraph.
Love at first sight doesn't exist in Duty.
And then try doing the
I
one.
mean, duty's not like really about that. Kind of, it's like about like how marriage
Mm-hmm.
should be based on love because Lady Capulet didn't marry on love. She married on like her father wanted.
Right. So we have 2 choices. Choice 1, we scrap it and find a new one. Choice 2, we try to find something that could fit.
I say we scrap it.
Okay, what do you think we can use instead?
I don't know.
Can we use? Is there anything from Love's vocabulary that says that love? Okay, so that might not be a good one because that might be really hard. What about Teen Brains Under Construction? I think that might be a good one for you.
Yeah, because it shows that we're not. It shows our brains are fully developed, so we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Can I? Do they have any extra copies of that? Because I didn't read that one. I only know.
Oh, yeah. Let me get you one in a second. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey guys, does anybody have a copy of Teen Brains Under Construction they're not using? That Bella could use really quick? Thank you. All right, so they'll help you. All right,
Okay.
next.
I just need to know if this like makes sense.
Okay.
That my thing goes with all 3 of this.
Yeah. All right, so the authors use facts, imagery, and personal anecdotes to show that people show love in different ways. What's the difference between use and show? Talk to me about your verb choice.
Like, because some people just use love to like get what they want. And some
Mhm.
people show it by the way they say it or
Okay.
go with around it.
Yeah, I like this. I think it just might be two competing ideas for one essay. So what sources were you gonna use this?
That's from Love's vocabulary.
Okay, what's the author's argument there?
That like some people say they love
Mm-hmm.
but don't really mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Or just use it to get through.
Good. What about this one? Teen brain?
Teens think they love you, like something or someone, but they really don't because we don't know what we want yet.
Good. And then what about Romeo and Juliet? What were you planning on using?
Just like that they show how they love.
Mm-hmm. I would say, based on what you told me about these things, that I think we can get rid of the verb use, and this verb show still encompasses the main ideas and the arguments that the authors are making. So show love in different ways. Here from Love's vocabulary, you can talk about those different kinds of love, right? And then in Teen Brains, you can talk about how teens are still learning how to recognize those different types of love. And I think there's plenty of facts in there to support that too. And then in Romeo and Juliet, show us how they show their love in different ways. Like there's the love of Rosaline for Romeo versus the love of Juliet for Romeo. He's going to try to argue they're different, right?
Yeah.
So that might be two good facts that you can use to prove that. Does that make sense? All right, good. I like
Thank
it.
Oh, about
I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if my whole thing like goes along with my what do they call it? These things.
The sources?
Yeah.
Okay, so if your thesis statement, if this part of your thesis statement matches
Yeah.
up with the sources, okay. Okay, that's a good point to prove, I think, that love is hard to explain. Good. So what do you have? My Shakespeare,
Sonnet
Sonnet
18,
18,
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, I think those would all work. Love is hard to explain. I think from Love's vocabulary, if I had to add one, I cannot spell out Love's vocabulary. So what I would do if I were you is decide which two facts you want to use for each of these, and then whichever one, if there is one that sounds like, I'm not sure that this quite works, or I can only find one, I think you'd be able to find two easily from Love's vocabulary. So that just might be one you can sub in if you had to.
Okay.
But I like it. Yeah, good notes too. Good.
I just want to make sure I'm doing this right.
Yeah.
Outline.
Okay, so can you write your thesis the same way you had it on that paper, like the final changes? Mine up on the board was just a little, whatchamacallit, a little outline, like a little sketch of what it was. So write yours like for real in, blah, 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 the authors use blah, 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 blah. But then here, perfect to convey. Okay, then with your first body paragraph, Romeo and Juliet are perfect to convey that love is immortal through the use of what technique are you going to talk about?
Figurative language
Okay.
and what the second one is.
Okay, that's okay. And it could just be figurative language for this one and both examples of figurative language. That would be okay too. That's good. Yeah.